Okay, 2005 ML350. This also applies to the ML320, all the W163 chassis from 97 and up to 2005, just doing an oil change. And I'm going to be using an extractor which pumps the oil through this tube out through your dipstick hole, and you don't have to go underneath and take off the drain plug, drain bolt, and drain oil down there and take off the bottom engine paneling and all that stuff. You could actually do this. You could do it in a tuxedo up here. As long as you had gloves on, you would not get dirty. And I've done this before without getting dirty whatsoever. And today I'm going to try something. Never tried one of these before, a little bit leery, but it's an EcoGuard oil filter. The Mercedes uses a cartridge filter system, which these little cartridges go inside the filter casing, the oil filter casing there. Instead of having a regular spin-off filter, you just replace the cartridge. Since with a Mercedes, it's right on top of the engine, sucking the oil out from underneath or from above is great, and there's no going below the engine. Again, no sitting on your back on a dolly. You don't get dirty. Anyway, this thing's got a 10,000 mile protection warranty. It's synthetic, and it's designed for use with synthetic oil. I think they're about $10, $12 a piece, so it's not a cheap filter. Be careful when you get filters for your Mercedes, because they're not all guaranteed for the 10,000 mile drain intervals that Mercedes use. You're using synthetic oil, and you're using a lot of it, so you might as well go the full 10,000 miles. Between filter changes, you're just wasting your money. If you get a filter that's only good for 5,000 miles, well, you know, you're wasting 8 liters of synthetic oil for 5,000 miles when you should go double that. So make sure your filter's rated for 10,000 miles and for a long drain interval. Anyway, first thing I'm going to do is pull the engine cover off, which is just pop up on the front. On the side, there's a little clip on that back that connects to the fuel rail. It will just pop off, as will this other one, which I need 2 hands for. 1 second. So if you look under here, there's the little foot here, this little clamp that clamps over top of that silver pipe that goes down there from the fuel line. And then there's little clamp feet, 1, 2, 3, that clamp over top of these rubber plugs here when you push them on. So they can only go on one way. You push them gently and they snap back on. Pull it gently, it snaps off. If it's not going on properly, don't force it, you'll break one of these clips. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts. There's like 20 squirrels in my front yard, and the dogs are going crazy. So next thing we're going to need is a filter cap. It has to be removed. Right here, the filter's down underneath this cap. And you can buy a special tool, or you can use a filter wrench that unscrews these. But this one's, they're numbered for filter sizes. This one's numbered 903. Simply pops on, and then with a socket wrench, loosen. So I'm going to loosen that about 4 or 5 turns. I'll be back in 1 second. I need a rag. Okay, so I'm just going to loosen this a little bit so that there's air flowing down, and the oil is going to drain out of the filter down into the engine. I'm going to pull the dipstick. I've already run the car for about 15 minutes to make sure the oil is warm and circulated, and if there's any goop, it's going to come out. Take the extractor tube and just shove it down inside the dipstick tube, and then pump. And that will suck and extract, vacuum all the oil out through the dipstick tube. And it takes about 3 or 4 minutes, but again, you don't get dirty. And if you get one, make sure if you get one of these extractors, Harbor Freight, I think they're around 75, 80 bucks. Make sure you get one big enough. Mercedes most of them take a minimum of 8 liters of oil. And some of the extractors are for smaller cars and or North American cars that take 4 liters, and you don't want that. This one holds 10. So, 8 to 10 liters, I would get a 10-liter one, just to give yourself enough wiggle room. So I'm going to let that drain and be back in a minute. Okay, so the extractor's almost full. There's still oil in the line. I'm going to give it a few pumps. You can hear it slurping up the last of the oil. So we're going to leave that sitting there soaking up anything it can. Now we're going to remove the filter. When you're wiping off the filter insides, use shop towels, something that doesn't have lint. These are the blue shop towels. They're lint-free. You don't want lint inside your filter. Unscrew, let it drain, and you're simply going to pop the old filter off. What kind of filter was this? Oh, it was a Hengst. Good. Nothing wrong with that. But it is going to drip everywhere. So we want to clean this off. And with your filter, in the kit, you're going to get some O-rings, all different sizes. The big one for the top here. There's a big rubber O-ring there. There's an O-ring there, and one there. And you just take a little, you can use a pick, you can use a small flathead screwdriver, and you just pop them off. One thing you want to be careful of is on the big rubber O-ring there, make sure you get it back in that groove. Don't push it all the way up to the top. In the top groove, it goes in that groove there, the second one down. Okay, back in a second. Okay, here's the little package of seals that came with the filter. It's got all the different size seals in there. There may be an extra one in there because some of the these filters fit different Mercedes models, and some of them had a slightly longer tube that the filter tube mount, and they have actually an extra seal on them. And you can see they're partly removed. The little one on the bottom is pulled off. I just used a seal pick, not a or seal, but a like for removing rubber seals, and just pull them all off, swap them back on. As you can see, the top one, the big one, again, it has to go in that big slot there, not up and top against the top of the lip there. You want to put it in that groove there, the big groove. So we're going to put all those back in and be back in 1 second. Okay, so all the new seals are on. Again, this one had one extra. I think my W208 used to use the same engine in the W208, but it had a fourth seal on it, a fifth seal, sorry, O-ring. So look inside the filter housing, nothing going on there. So now we're going to take the new filter. They go either way, slide it on, and snap it all the way in. Again, slide, snap it in, drop it down in. And go till you can't tighten it anymore by hand. And then about a quarter turn with the wrench. So a quarter turn, meaning 1/4, like 1/4 of a pie. Start up there, 1/4 of the pie. Ooh. I'll go a tiny little bit further than that because that was a little bit too easy. That's about right. That was almost a half inch, or a half turn. So that's nicely sealed on there. Again, once this engine starts running, we're going to check and make sure there's no oil going out of there. Next thing we have to do is get our oil and refill through the fill tube. You can also dump your oil. You can dump the new oil down in through here before you put the filter in. You can do that as well. It's a bigger hole, so it's easier to pour down. Sometimes you don't need a funnel. I'm going to check the cap. Looking for mayonnaise, which is not under there, thank God. Ooh, there's a little dirty chunk. So now we're just going to add oil back in. Okay, ready to fill. I'm using Mobil 1 0W40 European oil. If you're unsure whether your oil meets the standard, check on the back. Right there, meets MB approval 229.5, 229.3. That's the Mercedes approval for the M112, M113 V6. That's the approval for those engines. There's different engines have different approvals, the 229 point whatever is the worksheet that they worked out for oil approvals. Anyway, 229.5 is what we want to meet. This is 229.5 approved. So this car holds 8 liters. Those are 4.4 a piece. So I'm going to be putting one whole bottle in and then most of the second, leaving hopefully half a liter left, and I'll dump that in. You don't want to watch me dump oil in because that's pretty damn boring. Back in a second. Okay, so we put the 8 liters in. Put the 8 liters in, cap back on, start the car, let it run for about 30 seconds to circulate the oil, fill up the oil filter, turn it off, wait 5 minutes. 5 minutes you need for the oil to drain down into the oil pan so you can check the actual level. Remember, too low is better than too high. Too high is very, very bad for your car. And we want to be in this little serrated, in between these 2 little rocket ships at the end. It looks like 2 little rocket ships. You want to be in the center somewhere. You don't have to be all the way to the top, but anywhere in the center, in the top 3/4. Always stick in and hold it for 5 or 10 seconds, because when you're poking through the oil, you just want to make sure the oil levels out and gives you the exact reading of where it is on there. So you can see we're just a little above half. So I'm going to add about another half liter and we're good to go. I'll add that half liter. I'm going to put the, while I've got this off, you can see that this 350 has a typical valve breather leak, valve cover breather oil leak. Yeah, because it's sunny and the way there's sunshine, you can't see it too well. Anyway, I'll come back, I'll put this all back together, put that half liter in, and then we'll reset the engine computer, the maintenance computer. Back in 1 second. While I'm out here, I figured I'd also do a little bit of engine detailing. Foaming tire care. Great engine detailer. Just spray it on. Preserves, protects, and all of the stuff. No rinsing, no wiping, no nothing. It'll lift up a lot of the dirt and grease. It's not 100% perfect on greasy, super greasy engine parts, but just don't get it in your air intake. Don't spray it in your air intake. Not good. Because it's got silicone in it. You can't buy the silicone-free stuff anymore. And if silicone gets in onto your mass airflow sensor, little hot wire in there, it'll stick on the hot wire and give you false readings and probably trip a code. So don't spray it in your intake. But you can hose down your engine with it, and I'll show you what it looks like in 3 minutes, and then we'll reset that engine computer. Ooh, nice clean engine. Foaming tire cleaner, works great. No scrubbing, no nothing. I did wipe off the fan shroud. There was a little bit on the top that won't like roll off if it's on your tires. So you kind of, anything that's sitting on top, you kind of have to wipe up a little bit. The stuff that's on a flat horizontal surface. Anyway, the vertical stuff will just drip right off, and yeah, it's a lot easier to work on your car when you can see where problems are and can see through the dirt. Anyway, let's reset that oil system back in 2 seconds. Okay, we're going to reset the flexible service, which is the little display in the middle that shows how many kilometers left till service. Turn the key on so all the lights come on. Press twice so it shows, twice real quick so it shows up. Turn off, press and hold. Turn back to position 2 and hold for a few seconds, and that should reset to 15,000. Hey! Okay, we're gonna have to do that again. Off, press and hold, on. Holy crap, why is it not working? Okay. Key in, on, press twice. Okay, turn off, press and hold, from position 2. And continue to hold. It should reset. Yay! Oh, looks like we have a service B coming up, which is the 2 little wrenches in 15,000 kilometers, which is like checking brakes and checking brakes and all that kind of stuff. So now the oil change interval has been reset to 15,000 kilometers. Okay, on an ML from I think 2002 and newer, you can also check your oil level from inside the car, and I'll show you how to do that now. So stick the key in. Your car has to be off and not running for at least 5 minutes. Parked on level ground, turn the key to position 0 or 2, and wait for the little odometer display to show a bunch of little lines. Okay, now once it's done that, you press this button here twice, really quick, 1, 2, and oil level 0.0. So that means no oil needs to be added. It will show 1 liter, blah, 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 if 1.5 liters if you need oil. It will also show high if your oil level is too high. That means suck some out and do not drive. Oil level high is bad. So anyway, that's just another way you can check your oil without getting out and getting dirty. So our oil change is complete on the ML. Thanks for watching.